let's move over to Trump, who is now engaged in a pardon spree, and we'll talk about a whole bunch of these that he just did. Todd and Julie, what are their names?
Todd and Julie Chrisley
from the reality TV.
Chrisley knows best. Yeah.
So they're getting a pardon. Ken Vogel has a piece in the New York Times about this fraudster whose mom gave $1 million to Trump and did 3 fundraisers for Trump, and
Paul Walzac
got a pardon just before he was about to report to prison, I believe. I don't think he ever actually had to go to prison. We'll talk about his crimes; they're really atrocious. And then a sheriff in Virginia who was basically selling like fake badges and letting like rich people be fake deputies in order for bribes, in exchange for bribes. He also got pardoned. So let's start with the first element up here. There's Alice Johnson, who was pardoned during Trump 1, and Trump is so proud to have pardoned her. She was in prison for selling drugs and running a kind of drug empire. And she's now sort of become the pardon czar.
She was over-prosecuted.
Yeah.
And that's the argument he's going to make about these other pardons. Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly a weed dealer, right? Or some crack too?
I thought it was crack.
Was it crack? Anyway.
We'll have to go back and look.
Yes. So anyway, here they are in the Oval Office calling up Chrisley's.
That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. Is that okay? We'll try getting it done tomorrow. So wonderful. Give them, I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them a good life.
Mr. President.
Yes. How are you?
I just want to say thank you for bringing my parents back.
Yeah, well, they were given a pretty harsh treatment based on what I'm hearing. Congratulate your parents.
Congratulations, Savannah.
And Alice had a lot to do with this, and just congratulate your parents. And I hear they're terrific people. This should not have happened. So, and you just
thank you so much.
Boy, they have good children. You're no longer children, but I'll say it anyway. They have good children, don't they?
So, top reality TV stars, they were busted for tax evasion.
Yeah.
This is not one I get super worked up about because they did some time. They did the crime, they did some time. And does the world necessarily benefit from them spending 20 years in prison? Now, I don't want people to get special treatment just because
they're getting special treatment.
Obviously, they're getting special treatment, literally special treatment. They're literally getting pardoned by the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Now, so that is ridiculous and outrageous. But setting that aside, you know, you do your tax evasion, go do a little bit of time. Like you don't need to lock these nonviolent people up for decades.
The Alice Johnson pardon, people remember from Kim Kardashian spearheading that effort, I think with Van Jones as well. But that was coupled with what was called the First Step Act, which was a large-scale policy effort. But this is, not that. This is very much, that's the kind of difference between targeting one over prosecution and then coupling it with a big policy act. That's not what's happening in this case. This is literally just special treatment based on Savannah Chrisley, and that's who he was talking to. He was talking to the Chrisley's children. Savannah Chrisley was the voice that you heard.
You watch that one? That show?
I watched it when it first came out. It was pretty, I feel like it cooked the first couple of years, and then it went downhill. Yeah, it went downhill. But that was the era of Duck Dynasty, when these big networks were trying to appeal more to Middle America by putting these family sitcom type reality shows out, and it was fine for a little while, but it wore off. The luster wore off pretty quickly with that one. They're not the most appealing characters.
Yeah, and the argument on their behalf was that the IRS and the lead IRS person that was going after them had their face up on a bullseye and really wanted them and considered them to be Trump's kind of avatar.
He said they were the Trumps of Georgia, I think.
Right, and so there was some political motivation behind going after them, according to this defense. And, all right, they got him. They did a little time. Let him go. It's fine.
Their tax advisor also went to jail, was also prosecuted for this. They were found guilty of tax evasion and bank fraud. Basically, they were hiding their money to defraud the IRS and banks is what they were found guilty of, as well as the tax advisor, the financial advisor in this case. We don't have to dwell too much on the Chrisley case because there are a couple of other ones, but I will just say, Ryan, I remember at the RNC, I was sitting in the press thing watching the kind of boring stuff happen before you get the keynote every night, and Savannah Chrisley came out and did this like utterly, what's the right word, like obsequious pitch about her parents to Donald Trump, and it was so cringe-worthy because it was such a nakedly transactional attempt to free her parents from prison. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to work.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Sure enough.
She went on Laura Trump's Fox News show just in the last several weeks, and Savannah credits that with bringing it to Trump's attention. She said just in the last 24 hours, like he watches every edition of that show, and I'm pretty sure it's what brought it back to his attention.
Genius.
So it's just sort of funny how easy it is to like cooperate with Donald Trump, how easy it is to negotiate with Donald Trump. You just have to, I remember watching this at the RNC and hearing her compare their plight to Trump's plight and just thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to play him like a fiddle. Yeah,
one of the things I like, the word downtown is that one of the ways you're supposed to pay Trump now is not just the Trump coin, but you're supposed to quote unquote invest in Melania's documentary. Like, you know, because there's all these legal ways you can move money. Like, hey, you put in $1 million, you become an investor in this documentary. Oh, it turns out this documentary's not going to make any money. It's a write-off for you. It's a business loss. You invested it, you lost it. But it's a legal bribe. The other way, of course, is Trump sues you, like your CBS, and then you pay him a settlement. And so there's all these clever legal ways to do bribery. Some of it is just, you just give him $1 million, which is what Paul Walzac's mother did. So move to the next one. Great story by Ken Vogel in the Times. So this was a guy who dropped out of college and then inherited we're a meritocracy, so he inherited his mom's nursing home company in Florida. Red flag already, nursing home company in Florida. The way that all companies work is you withhold money for Social Security and Medicare, payroll taxes from your employees, and then you send that to the state and the federal government. Like you withhold the tax money, and then it goes back to the state because it's not your money. Like they earned it. It's their paycheck, but you do handle it. Like the businesses handle it. The business, if you notice on your paycheck, this money is withheld. There is a bank account that withholding goes to before it is sent off to the government. And what a company can do, what a CEO can do, is just take that money.
Yep.
And that's what Walzac was convicted of doing. He took that money. He bought a $2 million yacht. And lived just a normal, Bergdorf, Goodman, Cartier, just lived enormously large with stolen money. His mom, who was wealthy from having run this nursing home company, hosted 3 fundraisers for Trump, so it gets you in the good graces.
Big fundraisers too.
Yeah, but then it was she paid $1 million. So they reached out to, like, they're trying to get the son clemency. So she reaches out to do this. She then gets invited. So this is how this works. They know she wants something from them.
Yep.
So then, as he writes, Ms. Fago was invited to $1 million per person fundraising dinner last month that promised face-to-face access to Mr. Trump at his private Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. Less than 3 weeks after she attended the dinner, Mr. Trump signed a full and unconditional pardon. It came just in the nick of time for Mr. Walzac, sparing him from having to pay nearly $4.4 million in restitution and from reporting to prison for an 18-month sentence that had been handed down just 12 days earlier. A judge had justified the incarceration by declaring that there, quote, is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for the rich. False.
Nice try, Judge.
There literally is a get-out-of-jail-free card for the rich.
It's not gold like the Visa card, but it could be. It might as well be. $1 million.
Yeah, and so wildly, insanely corrupt. This is a person who stole money from working people to buy a yacht, and then used some of that stolen money, or his mother. Let's assume she didn't steal the money. Used money that they made on the backs of the workers. We can at least say that, and paid it to Trump. And now he's and not just commuted. Like there's different. You can commute a sentence, which leaves the felony on your record, and he could have said, "I'm commuting the sentence, but you still have to pay the restitution to the workers, 4.4 million that you've been sentenced to pay." You can also just do a full and unconditional pardon.
Right.
You know what? Keep their money.
Right.
You earned it.
Right.
How'd you earn it? By having the password to the bank account and moving it from them to yourself. So, and it won't spend a day in jail
Yeah.
for this. And you can go ahead, keep the money.
No, this story by Vogel is insane, and it also gets into the wild connection between the Ashley Biden diary, Project Veritas.
Oh, we
and
didn't even talk
Fargo.
about that.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Lay that element, because that's the argument that his mother made. That his mother was involved with this Ashley Biden diary, and that the law enforcement came after them. And so this was actually all payback. It wasn't about the workers that he stole the money from. This was payback. So yeah, what was the? You guys remember this Ashley Biden diary?
It's
situation?
I mean, the diary is a horrible.
Like she
horrible,
went to this rehab. She left a diary behind.
that had allegations that were disgusting.
It said, was it weird that my dad would shower with me or something like that?
When
right?
she was older, yeah.
Yeah. Like 12 or something.
Yeah, she was. It was
some creepy stuff in there.
Yes.
And no smoking gun, but creepy stuff.
Yeah. And who knows if that's true? It was a diary of someone who was mentally unwell in rehab, but it was there.
Right. And then somebody finds it, sells it. Like there's this whole sordid Coen Brothers-esque
It is
scheme
very Coen Brothers.
that winds up with it getting published. Project Veritas, like O'Keefe got raided over this?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So a man who is friends with Fargo contacts her about the diary. Ken Vogel writes, when she was first told of the diary, she said she thought it would help Mr. Trump's chances of winning the election. And then they brought that diary to a fundraiser at her home that Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle attended. The diary was shown.
Right. And Trump Jr. was like, get this away from me. This is, Trump. I think this is one place where Trump Jr. actually did the right thing. He was like, whoa. Do not involve me with this.
It's crazy. It's just such a crazy story. And
when Donald Trump Jr. is like, this is this is too much.
The fact that this woman was involved in that, like you said, it's Coen Brothers-esque. The only way you can even look at it. And he was so.
Then it starts getting bought and sold.
Right. So
FBI's
Walzac
involved.
was about to. What was he? He was about to be sentenced, and so the pardon.
He was sentenced. He was about to report to prison.
It was about to report, and Ken Wrights came, quote, just in the nick of time, clearly. And one thing just to note there is it's similar to the Savannah Chrisley case of people knowing how to make these appeals. So the mom, Fargo, was apparently openly making an appeal based on her
This was persecution. We were persecuted.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So now we have this other story. This is, I believe, the next element. Yeah, this is E4. So this is a story of Sheriff Scott Jenkins, who Trump is giving a, quote, full and unconditional pardon to. He was the one who was about to report.
CNN commentator and future Kentucky senator.
Oh, Scott Jennings.
Scott Jennings.
Yeah. No, this is Scott Jenkins, who was convicted on federal bribery charges last year. He was about to report to prison. I think today he was about to report to prison. And then within 24 hours of him reporting to prison, Trump pardoned him. So from Reuters, they write, he was, quote, a former Virginia sheriff who served an area about 2 hours outside D.C., was convicted by a jury in December 2024 for accepting more than $75,000 in bribes in exchange for appointments as auxiliary deputy sheriffs. He had been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. And Ryan, I suppose there's potentially an argument that the sentence and also the Chrisley sentences are long.
Too much.
Too much.
I'm with them. Okay, 10 years for that. You took $75,000 in campaign contributions, which is different than taking it in cash money. And in exchange,
Walzac,
you made the local car dealer like a fake cop. Mm-hmm. You let him be a fake cop for a day. It can be dangerous. Like Oklahoma, there was this case in Oklahoma where they let this rich guy be a fake cop, and he shot and killed a guy because he meant to pull his taser and accidentally pulled his pistol and killed a man. So, like, this is to me. It's if you want to take your fake badge and go home with it, like happens with 9-year-olds, fine. But like you give them a fake badge and a real gun and no training. Now the community is the one that's going to pay so that you can get these bribes.
Yeah.
But still, 10 years is a little bit excessive.
Yeah, and that's the argument Trump's going. He keeps saying.
But he's a big Trump guy, and they're like, they came after me because I'm a Trump guy.
And you heard right, and that works so well
Yeah.
on Donald Trump, and everybody knows it works so well on Donald Trump. And he said it in the Chrisley conversation with Savannah. He said they were treated very badly, and so yeah, it's what Blagojevich got this too, right? He sort of made a turn to being pro-Trump, and that's all it took. And I don't know, Ryan, if Trump is being taken for a ride so much as he just enjoys the deference and the obsequiousness.
Anybody who goes through the criminal justice system comes out hating prosecutors,
including Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he feels that. And if I ever get convicted of anything, I'm going to remind Trump of all the nice things I said about him.
You have so many clips.
So many good clips.
I mean, endless reel.
I compliment his sense of humor a lot. So just let's clip this one and save it for if I ever need it.
This is for Ryan.
Ever get caught stealing people's tax money and buying a yacht with it.
And let's just mention, of course, Joe Biden had an unprecedented pardon policy. He pardoned family members, corrupt family members, pardoned Anthony Fauci. Absolutely, that all happened.
He pardoned
like Liz Cheney.
This terrible sex criminal in Pennsylvania.
Preemptive pardons. Why? And those are always favors, right? Like people would say, why would you pardon that guy? It's a favor to someone, right? Someone got that in front of him.
Must have.
Yeah. So yes, Joe Biden was unprecedented in that respect and was transactional in that respect. This is a different level.
Whole new
Obviously,
level.
This is a level of people nakedly making transactional appeals to the president and him responding when you get that sort of obsequious approach. So,
and usually presidents wait till the end of their term. They're so embarrassed about this stuff.
That's interesting, right?
He's doing it right out like Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. It's a really interesting question about what norm, or to what extent that sets a norm going forward, and to what extent Biden's pardons set a norm going forward, because those were quote-unquote preemptive pardons of people who hadn't even been convicted. So
Trump has learned that nothing matters.
But that's the era that we live in right now. This last decade, we're 10 years since Trump descended the golden escalator, and we're learning that we don't actually know what the norms are anymore and where they will be in the post-Trump era, if we ever approach such a moment.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.